Frank, why so glum? World's going to hell. What do you mean? Lindsey Graham says that ISIS is coming over here to take all our jobs and give us Ebola. Okay. And the Apple Watch doesn't come out till 2015. I can't wait that long. Good morning, Sean. Happy Wednesday, or whatever day you might be watching this on. As you can see by the window over my shoulder, it is dark outside. I'm getting an early start today because I have a lot to do and I got to keep this condensed. And usually I run long, this takes me forever, and I go on and on and on, and I'm over my time limit. And this is probably why, because I just keep rambling and rambling and rambling. I should really. We can see you, Sean. I too can wear a sports shirt. Sean, it's sports. So there's an awful lot of horrible shit going on in the world. And sometimes, Sean, it seems like the whole world is just spiraling into chaos. And pretty much the 6 o'clock news has turned into AAAAAH! And sometimes it just seems like the world is a shitty place populated with shitty people.
There's a hole in the world like a great black pit.
This is my jam.
Filled with people who are filled with shit.
I was listening to NPR the other day. Go ahead, judge. Anyway, there was this guy named Steven Pinker who was actually making the argument that we are living in the most peaceful time ever. Anyway, he wrote this book right over here. That book! Right there, called The Angels of a Better Nature. Give it up to Lincoln. It's getting brighter outside. So the book basically charts the monumental decline in violence from like hunter-gatherer time until now. Tribal warfare was 9 times more deadly than warfare today. Seems that Hobbes may have been right when he told Calvin that the lives of such men were solitary, poor, nasty, brutish, and short. Even in the 1940s and 50s, 20 per 100,000 people were dying in battle deaths, where now it's way less than 5. You know, I'm not saying it's still not a lot, still not way too many, but comparatively, it is a lot less. This is my glum face. The murder rate in medieval Europe was 30 times higher than Europe's murder rate today. Random note, last year there were 40,000 confirmed battle deaths, compared to 500,000 confirmed homicides. Just throwing that out there. The murder rate, and really the rates of all violent crimes across the board, have fallen substantially from the 1990s and continue to fall almost every year. Again, I'm not saying that there's not too much murder and death and killing in this world and that we can't do better. We can. What I am saying is that generally when you watch the media, you think that everything is getting worse every second of every day of every month of every year. Part of it's because what Steven Pinker calls a cognitive illusion, that we see these specifics on the news or on our Facebook feed or whatever, and we project out, and makes us feel like it's happening everywhere all the time. Another part of this is that fear sells. Fear gets you to vote for people, gets you to buy more guns, gets you to donate to charity, gets you to tune in every night at 6 o'clock to see if the beast is really knocking at your door. I am the one who knocks. Pinker also talks about the reasons for the decline in violence, including, the rise of reason, the spread of education, our evolutionary tendency toward empathy. I just wanted to add that not everyone buys Pinker's argument, so you should read it for yourself and see what you think. So after listening to him on NPR and looking a little bit into his book, it made me feel that maybe the world isn't as doomed and hopeless as I sometimes feel it is, as our politicians and our media outlets sometimes lead us to believe. It kind of gave me a jolt of, optimism. Yeah, doesn't feel right. Then I watch football. E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles! It's through cheering that I learn how to spell. So I often feel guilty about liking this sport. It's perhaps the most stereotypical male thing that I do. So the sport is a bit barbarous. Even without the, wife beating and child beating, it's still a pretty violent game. I kind of have this realization that this is the modern form of the Roman Colosseum. So sometimes I feel a wee bit uncivilized when I watch it. For me, it's akin to the feeling of guilt I used to have when eating meat. Like, I know it conflicts with my own personal morality, but oh, it tastes so good. Sometimes I really miss hot wings, pepperoni, and pulled pork, and ribs. Oh, ribs. What was I talking about? Anyway, the point is this. Steven Pinker made me feel a little bit better about liking football when he was talking about certain medieval forms of entertainment, one of which included cat burning, which is unfortunately exactly what it sounds like. So, at least football isn't cat burning. Please don't bring up Michael Vick. On a completely different note, I read about this thing this week called Vanta Black. Something scientists created that is the blackest stuff on Earth. It traps 99.965% of the light that hits it. Apparently, it's akin to looking into a black hole. So yeah, that's cool. Another thing I wanted to share with you is the last line of a Hemingway story I read for class this week. It reads thusly: "Short time after, He contracted gonorrhea from a salesgirl in a Loop department store while riding in a taxicab through Lincoln Park. Yeah, Hemingway. Oh yeah, Sean, and one more thing. Pies for Parkinson. Peace out.